Oh, guess what, Sam?
What up?
I forgot the SD card. Luckily, there's 8 gigs of internal storage in there. So I should probably get to see this, huh? Well, that's cool. There's a phone charging option too. So when I turn that on, the remote charges the phone. That's cool. All right, let's go take it for a little spin. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is looking nice. It's a little bit of gloomy weather right now, but man, this is looking nice and crispy. All right, I'm on sports mode now. I'm getting about 35 miles per hour, so not bad. I know it's creepy to look at houses with a drone. You shouldn't do that, but these houses are epic, man. All right, let's stop being creepy and let's just fly. So I don't know if it's because it's the new drone or because of the new app, but you can see that it says manned aircraft nearby, and on the map you could actually see the airplane where it is live, so that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and you could hear it coming too. Okay, I'm literally watching the flight path of that airplane, which I can hear, but it's a cloudy day so I can't see it, but I can hear it. That's honestly pretty neat. Just being able to see the planes and where they are live. Another thing I'm noticing is that most other drones you tap to focus, but here it looks like it's a fixed focus because everything seems to be in focus. Everything all the way over there is in focus. And even Sam, you're like what, 2 feet away from me? 2.5 feet, something like that. And you look like you're pretty sharp in there. So I guess there's pros and cons to that. You won't be able to get a shallower depth of field like you would be able to do on the Mavic 2 Pro. But at the same time, it's nice because you don't have to worry about focus. I mean, unless you get it real close. I'm gonna get into one of your bananas. Oh, that sounded wrong. And honestly, I'm surprised at how in focus you look even though I'm a foot away. And honestly, if you're flying, you don't want to get this close because if I'm this close, I'm probably going to be cutting some fingers off. But here for like a medium shot, I mean, it looks super clean. So it is kind of nice that you don't have to worry about the focus anymore. All right, first impressions, it flies really well. And I also like some of the smart features like Active Track, and they actually did a great job integrating it into the app itself. So instead of having to open up Active Track and dial through the menu a little bit, you can literally just drag and select me right there. And now that I got myself locked in, I can just go ahead and just maneuver the drone around, and I don't have to worry about where the camera is aimed at. I just kind of tell it where to go and it should frame up for me, which is awesome. It really makes flying this drone so much easier, and the tracking's been pretty solid so far. But features like Active Track, which I've always been a fan of, it's really easy to access it now. So I actually really dig that. I select me, and by default, it goes into tracking mode, so I can go and fly around, not have to worry about which direction the camera's pointed. And we're also able to adjust what part of the frame the Active Track is putting the subject. So I can put myself on the bottom right of the frame, and I can still use Active Track. And these are some pretty difficult shots to get right here, but I'm literally just operating this thing with just one thumb. At any point, you just go fly around, find your subject. I want to track Sam, so I'm going to select him right there, and it's tracked. It's super easy. So I love how they've made this cool feature easier to access. From here, I'm going to go into orbit. So let's go ahead and set the speed, and I just hit go, and it just does its thing. And then let's put you on the top left of the frame, and it's doing it just fine, and it's holding you perfectly fine. Wow, this is awesome. What do you think, Sam?
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it. I'm gonna recreate a dramatic scene.
Why is this happening to me?
Is that good?
You have to feel it. This isn't there. This isn't there. Yeah.
I should just become an actor.
I think so, yeah. Dude, you committed all the way.
Yeah, dude, I'm very method.
I could put it into trace mode where it'll essentially follow you. Sam was trying to use it a little bit earlier and trying to escape the drone, but he had no luck. And then there's also parallel as well, where everywhere you move, it moves parallel to you. So if you want to get a profile shot or something like that. So loving these smart features, and the flight time has been pretty decent. I know a lot of people have been saying that this controller is bigger and bulkier. And yeah, it is bigger and bulkier, but the signal out of here has been solid so far. I flew all the way out to there and had 0 issues with connections. But first impressions, I'm loving this. So I kind of want to compare it to my Mavic 2 Pro. Let's head back to the studio and check it out. Woo! This is it, fellas. This is the very last video I am filming in this studio. What is it? Over a year and a half ago, when we first moved into this space. It sure has evolved a bit, but for the most part, it's all kind of stayed the same. And I'm definitely gonna miss it. I moved into here with 200,000 subscribers. Now we're at almost 650. It's treated me well, and it's been almost a character on this channel. So thank you. Thank you. But you know what? Let's do this final review here in this studio. Mavic Air 2, let's jump up to the overhead cam. This is kind of my go-to Mavic 2 Pro. And then in here, I have my trusty Mavic Mini. So it really seems to sit right there nicely in the middle of the Mavic lineup in terms of size, but also in terms of price and performance. But one thing that is clearly different is this new controller, definitely the biggest of the lineup. And I guess the big question we want to figure out is which one of these would you buy? Mavic Mini is great because it is inexpensive, it is very compact, it's super fun to fly. But the problem is that it didn't really have the professional features I really wanted. Mavic 2 Pro was really impressive because it was still considered small relative to its bigger brothers, but it still packed a pretty good punch, 1-inch sensor, great images out of it. I mean, if I were to buy a drone right now, I think I would personally be kind of in the middle of these two because I do really care about getting the best image quality out of it. And I think the only way to find out which one of these drones I like better is just to go out and fly them both. So let's go do that. Farewell, studio. You've been real nice. Sam, should we just like both tear through it at the same time?
Yeah.
I think we did that wrong. You gonna miss the studio, Sam?
No, not at all. It's too tiny and it smells. All right, time to pull out these boys. We're just gonna fly better. This one.
Okay, stop. The new place that we just moved into is very close to the beach, so hope you guys enjoy seeing shots around here because we're gonna be coming here a lot. All right, Sam. Counting on you not to crash this drone.
Not making any promises.
We got to do a giveaway with this drone, so.
Sorry, lucky winner.
With this amount of light, since I don't have ND filters for the Mavic Air 2, I have to crank that shutter speed all the way up to a 1/800th of a second. And since we can't control the aperture like we can on the Mavic 2 Pro, we are kind of stuck at this super fast shutter speed. So ND filters would definitely be nice for here. When it comes to color picture profiles, there's normal and there's D-Cine-alike. But for now, let's pop both cameras into 4K 24 frames per second in D-Cine-alike and let's compare some of the footage. Now, looking at the footage from these two, I still kind of lean towards the Mavic 2 Pro, although that Mavic Air 2 not far behind. And I love the way the Air 2 flies. It's very powerful. We did a little race and it's only a few miles per hour behind the Mavic 2 Pro, significantly faster and more powerful than the Mavic Mini. Now the image is looking flat because I am shooting D-Cine-alike, so it's the flat color profile intended to be color graded. But I did notice that the only options I have is normal and D-Cine-alike, so those are the two options, which is cool. It's nice and simple, but it doesn't give you as many options as the Mavic 2 Pro gives you. This might be something we see in a future firmware update, we'll see, but for now we have more color options on the Mavic 2 Pro. I still feel a little bit less freaked out flying the Mavic Air 2 than the Mavic 2 Pro because of that price difference, you know? I mean, it would suck to crash either of them, but if I had to crash one or the other, definitely would be the Mavic Air 2, you know?
I'd rather crash the Mini.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with the Mini is that it is a great one to kind of practice on, but it has no sensor, so you're actually more likely to crash it. I'll admit the Mavic 2 Pro's sensors has saved me a couple times. So flight-wise, Mavic Air 2 is really, really solid. I'm really enjoying flying it. I also love how integrated the active track is into the app. I think they did a really great job with that. And image quality-wise, everything I've seen so far out of the Mavic Air 2 actually looks pretty good. I still think I prefer the look out of the Mavic 2 Pro, but the difference isn't huge. One thing I do like about the Mavic 2 Pro is that you can shoot in the wide field of view, but you could also shoot in a tighter field of view, so you get a little bit of flexibility while maintaining 4K. So that is cool, but the Mavic Air 2 can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, while the Mavic 2 Pro stops at 30. So from a technical standpoint, the Mavic 2 Air does have that better frame rate in 4K. So far, all our footage has been in broad daylight with pretty even lighting, so they're both definitely gonna look good. But one thing I do like about the Mavic 2 Pro's 1-inch sensor is that it's pretty good in more difficult lighting situations. Here we go, let's try this. I'm in the shade, silhouetted by some direct sunlight. Now, in a lot of cases, they both look really good, and a lot of times they go neck and neck. But here in this shot, the Mavic 2 Pro definitely has a little bit of a cleaner image. The colors look cleaner, everything just looks a little bit more natural and just overall better, in my opinion. The Mavic Air 2, it still looks good, but it definitely has a little bit more of a digital video-ish feel, almost like an action camera a little bit. With the Mavic 2 Pro, if you're gonna spend the extra money, I mean, this is really where it goes, towards this 1-inch sensor. It just looks overall cleaner and more natural, in my opinion at least, especially with skin tone. Here's another example here. I'm gonna open up the Mavic 2 Pro to an f2.8 and check that out. Look at that, you're getting some shallow depth of field actually out of this drone. Now, shallow depth of field in a drone isn't something that you always notice, especially if you're up high flying. Focus just kind of gets set to infinity and everything looks like it's in focus. And one of the coolest parts of the Mavic 2 Pro is that you can actually go in and adjust the aperture from f2.8 all the way to f11, opposed to the other smaller versions of the Mavic, it's a fixed aperture. Oh, one thing I was happy to see that the Mavic Air 2 had, which the Mavic 2 Pro and also the Inspires have, is that you can press on the screen and you can drag it to actually move the camera around, not just up and down, but also sideways. So that's always a nice feature. Last but not least, let's go check out our low light dungeon and see how the drone looks in here. Welcome to the dungeon.
I feel like you're gonna murder me right now. That's what it looks like.
Low light's typically when the larger sensors take the win, and this seems to be the case. More detail and clarity in the deeper, darker shadows, but again, it's not as terrible as I was expecting. And looking at some of these shots, I was shocked at how similar they looked. A lot of times I couldn't even tell which camera it was coming out of. All right, so now that we've had a chance to play with the Mavic 2 Air for a bit, let's talk about them. Let's start with this little one, the Mavic Mini, the smallest and least expensive of the bunch. It's sitting right around 400 bucks. For the price, you just cannot beat this thing. It's got a pretty decent camera on there. It's super fun to fly. It's got a pretty decent battery life. It's awesome. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but really the one to get if you can swing it would probably be the Mavic Air 2. It is going to be around double the price of the Mavic Mini, so there is that, but you're going to definitely recognize a lot of improvements going from the Mini to the Air. Across the board, everything from the image quality, how it feels, how you fly it. I think a real big factor is the sensors on the front and rear, so you're gonna be much less likely to crash it into things. I mean, you still can crash it into things, so you need to be careful. You could do some gardening if you want to, but these sensors can definitely be helpful, especially when you're flying backwards. But another huge factor is the way it flies. As much fun as the Mavic Mini is, it's not as powerful and as fast as the Mavic Air 2, not even close. So let's say you're trying to use the drone to chase cars or boats or anything that's moving fairly fast, then this Mavic Mini might not be able to keep up. Also, if you fly in high wind conditions, the Mavic Air, you're gonna feel so much more comfortable with this thing, because the Mavic Mini, it can get blown around a little bit with strong winds. In Hawaii, I went to go grab a few shots and I was trying to have it fly back to me, but then a huge gust of wind came and it just pushed the drone way further away from me. I swear I thought I lost the drone after that, but a few minutes later, it started to come back and it landed. So that was scary. But with the Air, I've been able to hit speeds like 40 miles per hour with a little bit of a tailwind. So if it's a bit windy, you can feel a little bit less paranoid. That is why I would recommend the Air to a majority of people. Now, this video isn't sponsored or anything like that. I actually paid full price for this Mavic Air 2, But I asked my buddies over at DJI if they would be willing to do a giveaway with one of these, and they said yeah. All you got to do to enter to win, drop a comment down below letting me know the first place you would go and fly this thing if you won. Winner will be chosen within the first 24 hours of this video going live, so good luck. And finally, the Mavic 2 Pro. And again, there's going to be another leap in price, almost double the price of the Mavic Air 2. And honestly, the differences in image quality was a lot less than I had anticipated. I still think there is a difference, so if I want to go out and get the best image quality, I'm probably still gonna take this. But at the same time, the Air 2 is so much more comfortable to fly. I think a lot of it is psychological, because even when I'm flying this Mavic Air 2, I'm like, that's an expensive thing that I'm flying around, and then this is like double that expensive thing. And everything from the way it flies to the app to the controller, everything just feels like it's been updated. And there's also a level of simplicity. You know, you don't have to worry about focus. There's less options that you have to go and dial through. It's just a very easy, simple, fun drone. Did I mention that it can do 240 frames per second in HD? What? The image quality isn't the best thing I've ever seen at 240, but you know, it still has it as an option. Honestly, I think the Mavic Air 2 is going to be the drone that I carry around with me on a daily basis. And I'll really only pull out the Mavic 2 Pro for if I'm gonna go to a spectacular location. I really want the best footage. And that just ruined my, hold on, I gotta get this. All right, guess where we're at again. I'm pulling up comments from the last video, and it's been 2 weeks since I posted a video.
Oh, no.
I've been slacking. Sorry.
We moved.
Yes, we moved, and it's been very hectic. We will forever think of Linus whenever a YouTuber needs storage. Call in Linus to make you a storage cluster and name it Potato Nader. Jellyfish is too expensive. Linus, everyone is Linus.
Who's Linus?
Linus.
Who's Linus? Besides, he's not the Peanuts guy.
Linus is like a huge YouTuber who goes around and he helps other huge YouTubers figure out how to storage all their data. But I think you have to be pretty big for him to actually help you. I'm still a little small French fry, okay? I need to become the world's biggest potato to make that happen. So subscribe if you haven't already, make that happen. When Gene is reading the comments in his next video and only finds comments about Linus tech tips. Let's say yes. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, what's up? We're making a video right now. You want to be in it?
Oh, man.
You want to say what's up?
What's up, guys? It's crazy.
Anyways, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think we're going to go walk the dogs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. See you guys later. Peace.